comes into the division in Houston with an opportunity once again to build that franchise, a franchise that's won 7 games in 2 years. And again, this is going to be their 4th head coach in 4 years. Nonetheless, that move made today. Sean Payton to Denver. Let me raise my hand here and say I'm a little bit surprised. I really am. I thought Payton, and I don't listen for the most part to the pregame, in-game, post-game shows on CBS or NBC or Yahoo or Prime or Fox, whatever. I just don't. I mean, I spent all week getting ready for this show and do everything I can with the Jaguars. I think they're basically fluff pieces. They just kind of sit around and they all laugh, with one another or against one another. So I'd love to sit here and tell you that Sean Payton did a real good job as an in-studio host or as an in-studio analyst, but I honestly do not know. My feeling is he would have been better off waiting a year because I could have seen him going to Dallas. I could have seen him going to Miami. I absolutely could have seen him going to one of the 2 teams in Los Angeles, most prominently where the Chargers are and where Brandon Staley remains. I'd love to get an idea as to how Charger fans are thinking tonight, but we know there's no such thing, okay? In Denver, in the Mile High City, there's a tremendous amount of fandom, and they got themselves a really good coach. I'm just surprised he elected to go there. The pressure on that job, starting all over, trying to figure out what's going to happen as far as, really being able to solidify what happened at quarterback or what did not happen at quarterback, obviously, with Russell Wilson. Sean Payton, to me, would have been better served in one of those jobs waiting another year. But you're talking then about being out of the game for 2 years. And for him, that was at least 1 year too many. So a big deal today between New Orleans and Denver. The Broncos send their first-round pick, which is actually 29th because it's gone to 4 different teams now. If you look at when that pick came about and all the trades that have happened over the NFL in the last year plus, they'll give up that plus a 2024 second-round pick. In return, they will receive Denver, will receive a 2024 third-round pick. So I don't know if you're aware of this, JJ. Do you realize that this becomes now the 6th coach in the NFL in the modern-day era to actually be traded for one team to another?
Was Gruden the last one?
Herm Edwards actually was.
I forgot about that.
After John Gruden. All right, the first was in 97, and so much of this is documented in one of the great sports books I ever read by Michael Hawley. It's on Bill Belichick, and it's called Patriot Reign, and it's really all about just how awful Bill Parcells was during the 1996 season. It was his argument with Robert Kraft. It was Terry Glenn died. You remember that? I actually saw that story again. It popped up today. I mean, Terry Glenn, he was the one that Parcells referred to as a she. And
great player.
Parcells wanted a defensive guy. As a matter of fact, I think he wanted Willie McGinnis. The story may be. Oh, actually, he got McGinnis. I forget who in fact it was that he wanted. I'm going back. This is about 26, 27 years ago. But Parcells, they did the paper trail on it, and there was like more than 100 calls that he had made from his hotel room back and forth to New York City and or New Jersey, and all of the flirtation of him leaving the New England Patriots and going to the Jets. And that was actually the first Super Bowl I went to in person. That was in New Orleans when Lord Favre and the Packers beat the Patriots, and they did so on 2 former Jacksonville Jaguars who were released that year. As soon as New England got a lead, they kicked the ball off to Desmond Howard, former Jaguar, who went 100 yards and scored on a kick return. And then later in the game, Bad Moon Rising, Lord Favre hit Andre Rison And that was one of the major difference makers, along with a couple of Reggie White sacks, as to how Green Bay won that Super Bowl. But Parcells didn't even get on the team plan. He did an Urban Meyer long before Urban Meyer. He didn't travel back to Foxborough. Instead, he went straight to New York and took that job with the Jets. So that happened back in 97, a trade between New England and New York, which Bill Parcells was the reason for that move. It happened 2 years later. Remember Mike Holmgren going from Green Bay to Seattle. The same Mike Holmgren who had knocked off Bill Parcells 2 years prior in the Super Bowl. That happened in April of 1999. I believe that was right at the draft or right before the draft when Holmgren went from Green Bay to Seattle. It happened in 2000 with Bill Belichick. Remember, he was going to be the head coach in New York, be the head coach of the Jets, and that thing got totally twisted around, and he ended up in New England, as JJ mentioned. It happened with John Gruden in 2002 when he went from the Raiders to the Bucs, and of course, Gruden would go on to win a Super Bowl. It's interesting that the last two, Belichick went on to win 6 Super Bowls. Gruden went on to win a Super Bowl. Well, we know that Herm Edwards, for the most part, is out. He was fired this year at Arizona State, but in 2006, he went from the Jets to the Chiefs, and, of course, Sean Payton today now becomes the 6th coach to go from one spot to another.
By the way, the Parcells trade is outrageous. They gave up a first, a second, a third, and a fourth in 1997, all in one draft. The Belichick trade was a first, a fourth, and a seventh for them to release Bill Belichick from his contract with the Jets.
Parcells, to me, was one of the first, I was at 97. All right, so that was one of the really first documented stories of hatred between an NFL coach and an owner. And, I know it happened different places. I'm sure you can go back and talk about Dick Williams and Alvin Dark and the old Oakland A's and the battles they had with Charlie Finley. And, Al Davis historically has had some wars. But, that was part of the movement. That was a huge part of it where Parcells said, if I'm going to be the cook, I should be able to shop for the groceries. And it was so interesting because right here in Jacksonville, Tom Coughlin, who took this job in 94, and, of course, the franchise would begin in 95, Michael Hughes was here, and others were here to do different things in and around the team. But there was no question. This was to become the era of doing two things at one time, not only being your head coach, but also being the decision maker as far as free agency, the draft, and the final 53-man roster. Parcells was a huge part of that. Obviously, that grew year by year for Tom Coughlin when he was here, and it happened several other places as well around the NFL. Who right now? Happy birthday, Doug Peterson. Today is his birthday. I believe he's 54, 55. I don't want to date him. He's somewhere in that neighborhood. But after what he just did, and I put this out on Twitter tonight, JJ. I went back and did the math. I don't know if you saw it. I know you follow me on Twitter, but the word around the block is you have me muted.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. The rivalry of the producer and the host. Yeah, he follows him, but he's got him muted.
Is there anything more passive aggressive than muting someone? By the way, because you're still following them. They're still following you, so you want that impression that we're all cool here. But really, you don't ever have to see what they have to say.
I have an admission to make.
Oh, here we go.
I have an admission. You know my technical
prowess,
lack of savviness.
Yes.
Okay, I just found out about muting.
Oh, wow!
Not too long ago. I don't think I've ever blocked anyone.
Oh, wow!
And now that I found the mute button, I found there's two people out there that I finally just can't take it anymore. So I've hit them on mute. But, I wish I actually knew about these gadgets a little bit earlier. As I said, are we on YouTube tonight? Because
every night
I say I'm going to learn how to respond. I respond to everyone that I can on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, but I don't respond on YouTube because I don't know how to sign up on YouTube.
All you have to do, go to YouTube, search 1010XL. We will be the first video, and if you would like to comment, you do have to make an account. It is free. Put your email in, put your name in, and come talk to us. Anyway, your Twitter account.
Yeah, Doug Peterson. We just went through 6 coaches who would become. Forever, the answer would have been Belichick. I think now, at the age of 70, and where things are, would you be willing to give up all of that draft capital to go out and get Bill Belichick? Now, obviously, we saw today that Denver's willing to give up a lot to get Sean Payton, who's, 10, 12 years younger. But if you go around the league, who is the hottest commodity? If Doug Peterson wasn't here and
Shanahan,
it cost you a first-round draft pick, going with Shanahan?
Oh, if I had to... So I don't have Doug Peterson here?
Yeah. Or just...
Because I wouldn't give up a first rounder for any coach right now.
Okay,
let's make that clear. That's how confident I am.
Not even
Doug.
we're not talking about a number 1 pick here. We're talking about the 24th pick of the first
matter.
round.
To me, that we have a good enough coach here in Jacksonville to where I think it would be silly to trade anything for another one. But if I was just, the Texans or whoever, Shanahan's my guy. I am obsessed with Kyle Shanahan. I've always loved him, and this year just made me love him even more.
Andy Reid comes to mind.
Of course.
I don't know if you could pry him.
And he's older. I mean, how much longer does he really have?
He's 64. Shanahan is 1. It's a little too early to completely gush over Dayball because it's only been 1 year. But certainly there's a guy that does come to mind to me. We had 10 coaching changes last year. We had 7 the year prior to that. We're in the midst of 5 changes this year with 2 vacancies still open. For those of you joining us for the first time, Sean Payton to Denver, D'Amico Ryans to Houston, Frank Reich to Carolina. That leaves 2 jobs. There's not like there's a long list of coaches right now that you just say, well, he's the one. Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni's going to face Andy Reid. Andy Reid fired Nick Sirianni.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He did. I believe he was special teams coach when, in fact, he was let go. Can you imagine, again, being in Los Angeles, if you care about the Chargers, knowing that you still have Brandon Staley on your sideline when you had an opportunity to get Sean Payton? So I'm just looking at coaches
right
now.
What about McVay?
Yeah, but what happened this year? I mean, all those rumors that he wanted to leave and do television, he's making commercials, and
they got old fast. They had a lot of injuries, but yeah, that was strange. You normally see the team that loses the Super Bowl doesn't make the playoffs and takes a huge step back. Not the team that won it.
Bills Mafia was crushing Sean McDermott after their loss 2 weeks ago. I'm real big on Zach Taylor. John Harbaugh, consistent year after year after year. I wonder if his best football has passed him by. Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh has won, 3 playoff games now in the last 9 years?
Yikes.
That's not – so, it feels like we always talk about how many great quarterbacks there are, and we're going to get into it during the offseason, but I was reading last week that there could be as many as 19 out of the 32 teams who start a different quarterback to begin the 2023 regular season. Think about that for a moment. 19 of 20. Now, all of this would have to – Aaron Rodgers would get traded. Lamar Jackson would go somewhere else.
But all of that wouldn't be shocking.
Tom Brady's going somewhere else.
Not a shock.
All of that stuff's going to happen. But I don't think we talk enough about how many great coaches are there in the NFL. And, I'm older than you, but when I grew up, there was an era, and we saw this get replaced in college football, and, I guess for the same time period that was still going on in college football. But when I was growing up, man, it was Mike Ditka in the Chicago Bears. It was Don Shula in the Miami Dolphins. It was Bill Walsh in the San Francisco 49ers. Chuck Noll in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tom Landry and the Dallas Cowboys. All right, Vince Lombardi was a little bit before my time. But even guys like Marv Levy and his Buffalo Bills and Chuck Knox and his Minnesota Vikings. When you go to the league now, outside of Bill Belichick and maybe Andy Reid and, I don't know, maybe Mike Tomlin, how many teams, when you think of the 32 teams, you immediately think of the head coach?
I was going to say even Reid I wouldn't, because I grew up watching him for the Eagles. I mean, they were so good. He was there for so long. It's hard for me to just be like, think of him as just the Chiefs guy. They did go to a Super Bowl. They did go to like 1,000 NFC title games. I would say it's just Tomlin and just Belichick. And I think it's just the era we're in. You have to win now. Like you got Peterson getting a grace period of like 2 seasons after winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In Philly.
That's it.
Like, that's where we're at as, I guess, owners and fans. We're just so quick to get rid of these guys when
and
it's
you just
not
mentioned
a perfect
McVay.
season.
I mean, McVay, you got to believe in some circles, is going to begin this year on the hot seat.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, if there was a more rabid fan base there, probably. Like a Philly-type fan base, I think he'll get a little more leeway because how many Rams fans are there? Man,
there were coaches, there were coaches like Marty Dan Reeves in Denver. There were coaches like Marty Schottenheimer. Go back and look at his record. How incredible he was in Kansas City and Cleveland, much like, I can't think of his name right now.
Who's the guy with the Chargers?
Coach Lewis. Who was the coach with Cincinnati for all those years who couldn't win a playoff game?
Yeah, Lewis.
Yeah, Schottenheimer and Lewis, two coaches.
Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis. If you look at their regular season pedigree, it's like, man, these guys are both headed towards the Hall of Fame. Their problem is they couldn't win once you got into the month of January. It's fascinating right now. It really is. And, there's a couple of teams that saw through this. I got to bring up Cincinnati. Go back and look at the first couple of years of what Zach Taylor did in Cincinnati. I want to say he had about 7 or 8 combined wins in his first couple of years. But this is the way that the league is. You have like a year, and that's it. And in the case of Houston, they fired 2 coaches in 2 years. Now 3 coaches in 3 years if you go to O'Brien in his final season. So when you're DeMeco Ryans, man, it doesn't have to be the first part of the process. He's like, hey, guys, look at this organization.
Can you give me at least 2 years, please?
I mean, you fired coaches after 1 season. All right.
And it's not like they were supposed to be good that season. You fired the guys after 1 season where they were favored to be the worst team in the league. Both times.
In college football, it was the same deal. Barry Switzer and Tom Osborne and, Bowden and Spurrier and Paterno and you can go back to Woody Hayes and Bear Bryant and, they tried a lot of different coaches after the Bear. It didn't really work out well until Gene Stallings. But even in the college game, right now, I'll give you Saban. I'll give you Dabo. Who else in the college game right now? Okay, yeah, you got to get, absolutely. The guys won back-to-back natties. But like 2 years ago, we would have said Jimbo. He's gone now. Is Harbaugh? Is anyone in the Big Ten? To me, no.
Harbaugh's been there for a while, but he's constantly teasing going back to the NFL. I wouldn't even be shocked if this is his last year there.
Oklahoma's had changes. Nebraska's had changes. Notre Dame has had changes. The entire Pac-12 has had changes. The Big 12, no. The Atlantic Coast Conference, not named Dabo Swinney, no. How about in the storied SEC? I mean, honestly, 3 years ago, LSU won a national title. They're working on their third coach with Brian Kelly.
That's a great example because LSU not only won a national title, they won a national title with the most Louisiana person of all time. Like, the guy who can relate to the fan base better than anyone on earth, and they still fired his ass.
Well, anyway, what I'm getting at is, are coaches overrated, or is this just part of a fluid scenario in a win-now culture? And, it applies in every sport. We could do this in hockey and basketball, and we could do this in baseball as well. But football, and for the record, that same thing applies to me when I think of, classic Major League Baseball skippers. You stayed with Sparky Anderson, man. You stayed with Tommy Lasorda. I was going to say you stayed with Billy Martin, but George Steinbrenner
about 12 times.
He fired him 6 times.
With him, though.
But you stayed with Earl Weaver, and you
Bobby
stayed with
Cox.
Yeah, you stayed with the great managers. Today, it's like, but I think a lot of fans like that, and social media proves that you like it in game. It's fire this guy, fire that guy. He's got to go. And obviously, a lot of people change their mind depending.
Feels like you have a lot of power.
As
a fan, you have a lot more power than you used to. If all of us can put clown emojis or whatever, we can get our guy out of here. Back in the day, I don't even know what you did to complain. Calling the radio station, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to go to
letter to the editor,
McDonald's, and fill out a complaint card,
or show up at the coach's house.
I tell you what you did. You went to a bar and you screamed. That's exactly.
We need to get back there as a country.
What you did. Happy birthday, Doug Peterson. He is 55 years of age today. He was born in Bellingham, Washington. Played his college football at Northeast Louisiana, which I believe has changed. Isn't that the same school that produced our buddy Tim Brando, which is Louisiana Monroe?
Correct.
I want to say that has changed.
It is now Monroe.
Yeah, it has changed, and of course he had a very long career. He was undrafted in '91, but he played with the Dolphins. He played with the New Jersey Knights. He went back to Miami. He was the first. Here's a little bar bet for you, because I think most people are going to say Steve Berline was here, but Kerry Collins. The first quarterback ever was for the Carolina Panthers when they came into the league the same time that the Jaguars did?
No idea.
Doug Peterson.
Whoa.
Back in 1995.
So he made the first start for them?
I don't know if he made the start, but he was the first one
on the roster.
As a matter of fact, let me look that up during the break, because we got to take one. I think I've overshot the runway here just a tiny bit. He played for Miami again in 95, was on that Super Bowl winning team in 96 in Green Bay, backing up Lord Favre. He was there for 4 years, went to Philly, Cleveland, and then back to Green Bay. So a very distinguished playing career. Didn't play all that much, but man, he's going to have a great pension. He was in the league for 14 years when it was all said and done for Doug Peterson. All right, we got a lot to do. The best way to get a hold of us, as always, is on the text line. That is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, and that number is 641-1010.
Driving home with a Frangie Show.
Let's go home! Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen! Let's go home!
Because there's no place like home.
Let's go home! Let's go home!
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Are you a mechanic with at least 2 years' experience working on diesels and tractors? Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is looking for a mechanic to join our team. This position requires you to be at the office early, making sure our trucks get on the road. Having a CDL is a plus. Duck Rooter offers excellent weekly pay, a company work truck, health benefits, matching 401k, and more. To apply, please visit duckrooter.com. That's duckrooter.com and click on the careers page.
Equal opportunity employer.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine because people have joint pain and are getting real lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Leon Searcy here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting treatments. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged tissues. If you're ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover the remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available to folks like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. Don't put these off any longer. Spring is coming, and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now, 904-274-5522. Get a free consultation with local medical professionals. QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522, with locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
To be our best selves, we need to take care of our whole self. That includes your spirit, mind, and your body. At the First Coast YMCA, our members find balance in spirit, mind, and body with unlimited group exercise classes, adult sports leagues, health coaching, and programs designed for chronic disease prevention. And if your resolution is to save money this month, we'll waive the join fee. Discover all the benefits of a Y membership and find your Y at fcymca.org.
He's the quarterback whisperer.
You can do this?
Denny Thompson joins the drill Friday mornings in the 8 o'clock hour to talk QB.
This man right here does whatever it takes.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security. Security and automation experts on 1010XL.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Greg McGarity, President and CEO of Gator Bowl Sports. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game and events have been a Jacksonville staple for more than 75 years. We support more than 4,200 local youth annually through Gator Bowl charities. Gator Bowl Sports is a perfect way for local companies and individuals to get involved. We'd love to meet with you and talk about how you can join our team. If you'd like to learn more, contact us at 798-1700, 798-1700.
If your roof was damaged during storm season, you may not even know it. Schedule a complimentary roof evaluation with Universal Roof and Contracting. You may qualify for 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months on your roof repair project. Free warranty upgrade for first responders and veterans. Offer expires January 31st. Restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. I'm Sophia Monahan. One day, my sister and I will take over for my dad at Monahan Jewelers. Monahan's is your local family jeweler, and we're having our Valentine's sale now.
That's right, Sophia. Our Valentine's sale is up to 30% off on all GIA-certified diamonds and up to 40% off store-wide with interest-free financing on all purchases. Diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our entire inventory. Take it away, Sophie.
Monahan Jewelers at Alente Beach.
Wholesale prices, premium service.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. This February, give your car the love it needs with Tire Outlet's $70 car care package. From an oil change and a brake inspection to a tire rotation and alignment check, Tire Outlet will give your ride the love it needs. Visit TireOutlet.com to schedule your appointment today. Save now by shopping today at TireOutlet.com.
Wholesale prices, premium service. Tire Outlet.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. And for unlimited time, your consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 904-664-8217.
Jacksonville has some junk, and J-Dog is removing it. They're here to do the dirty work. You don't want to remove and dispose of large furniture or appliances yourself? Call J-Dog. Here now, proudly serving you, removing junk from your home or business. They can even handle small demolition projects, and they're still donating local items to veterans in need. So let J-Dog do the dirty work for you. J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. JDog.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What's the old Steely Dan? Oh, it was still September When your daddy was quite surprised to find you with the working girls in the county jail. Be careful out there. The sting. It's on. They got to hit their quota. Just like we do in sales. Yeah? Hey, mister. Beep, beep. Hey, mister. I love it. I was playing with my retired police officer, Larry Baker, last week. Great man. And we were having conversations about several different things, but they really have cleaned up Phillips. Yeah, it's getting to the point now where I think we got to sit down as a show and discuss whether or not the Phillips Highway stroll is still relevant. I mean, we did have that big sting a few weeks ago. They cost a lot of guys. They got their name in the newspaper. I don't know what newspaper it was. Actually, I think it was the Florida Times Union that put him in there. I don't remember, honestly. But it's not the way it used to be.
Do we need to pick a different street?
That's tradition, though.
End of an era.
All we need is like a major incident, and then we're back in. You know, we need like Stacey Mack to roll into town. If we can get him in here, then, you know, the former Jag, then that may give us a little something. Unfortunately, when they came out with it like 6 weeks, 2 months ago, they were a bunch of nameless, faceless guys, and it didn't carry over anything.
So you play for 2 years here, and your only lasting memory is you got caught trying to pick up a prostitute. That's a shame.
We're all identified by
something.
I mean, there are people out there that are like, oh, Ballou, aren't you the one who punched your boss?
Whoa.
I'm like, man, I've been in radio for 30 years now, 30 years in 1 month, and that's all you got? Is that when I was at the ball, I hit my boss? I mean, you've got to be kidding me.
Stacey Mack's got 19 touchdowns for the Jags.
But it happens. I mean, with that push out of bounds with the rookie, you know, I mean, I compared it to Bill Buckner. Bill Buckner was, if you look at the guys going to the Hall of Fame now, Bill Buckner, look at his numbers. He is arguably close to being a Hall of Fame. And he's not one, but he's with Steve Garvey, Dale Murphy, Dave Parker, Dick Allen, Al Oliver. He's in that mix with Lou Whitaker, with those type of numbers. Great numbers. And he'll only ever be remembered for the era. What's Urban Meyer going to be remembered for? Okay, college football fans will remember the titles, but around here, they're going to forget about 06 and 08. They're going to remember him not coming home on the team plane, groping a young lady in a bar in Ohio, or kicking Josh Lambo in the teeth.
It's like you win a Heisman Trophy, and all these people want to talk about is the fact that you slain your ex-wife and a French waiter. It's terrible.
Oh, whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, Herb Knight not quite on Orenthal James level yet.
Pete Carroll in Seattle, someone said. I'll give you
that's
that.
a good one. Although
Absolutely
he was at USC for so long before that.
And he was like the eighth choice at USC.
I didn't know that.
Shanahan blew the Super Bowl with Atlanta. They didn't give him a chance to let him Purdy hand off the ball.
Yes, happened.
Absolutely, Atlanta was to this day was
he also
to
wasn't
this day, it's
the head
unforgiving.
coach.
It's unforgiving. Yeah, it's like some of these coaches hang on. He became a head coach out of that. I mean, that was 28-3. Look at the game here, 27-0. How did in a world now where these guys are getting fired, it's such a routine. How did Brandon Staley survive a 27-0 melt? I mean, thank God it happened. But how did he survive that?
After last season's screw up on the last week of the season, where I don't remember the specifics, but he could have taken a draw or a tie, as they say in America, and then still got into the playoffs. Instead, tried to go for it, if I remember correctly, didn't get it, blew their chance. They ended up losing and didn't go to the playoffs. So it's not like he's coming off a great season and like, okay, we'll get over the fact that he gave up a 27-point lead because of what happened last year. This is like even worse. I was shocked that he was allowed back on into the building.
Yeah, and he's like, what word am I looking for? Really kind of moronic. I mean, he's a moron because he's acting like cocky about it. Well, I don't know. You could say I got out-coached for a half. I mean, there's no way around it. You lost a 27-0 lead, man. 27-0. And what was it like? Their 27-0, and I want to say, honestly, their final 32 plays. They passed it 25 times, and they ran it 7 times.
Yeah, well, there was 9 runs because I think there was a couple sacks, but yes, 7 running plays or something like that.
Hey, Ballou, what's up? Play some Lou Reed.
Every night with this guy.
We can do that. We can play some Lou.
I only know Walk on the Wild Side.
Yeah, but Lou Reed was he was a huge part of the whole American version of what am I looking for? The Sex Pistols and the
Punk?
Clash and kind of the punk movement. You know, he was New York's major punk movement, and kind of started underground. Obviously, he was with the Velvet Underground. By the way, he's a 2-time rock and roll. We mentioned it the other night. 2-time rock and roll Hall of Famers. He's in with the Velvet Underground, and obviously he's in on his own. But
I'm just not into the talking and the.
Yeah,
that's not my thing. I'm not hating on Lou Reed. It's just not really my style. But we will come back with a Lou Reed.
Yeah, we'll do that. I mean, he was, he was a little bit of a, a mix, some Iggy Pop, some David Bowie. Bowie had the Ziggy Stardust. Lou Reed kind of had he was one of the original alter ego type guys
he went by a different name,
or just acted as a different personality.
Okay,
there's only been a few. I mean, Elton John did it with those ridiculous costumes, but I mean, the whole Ziggy Stardust deal was enormous for David Bowie, and Bono did it during the Zoo tour when he played The Fly and stuff like that.
What about Chris Gaines? I know you're not a country guy, but Garth Brooks in the 90s started going by Chris Gaines, who was a pop rock guy who wore black and had long hair.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's when he put on 100 pounds and he could no longer scratch the crap off the back of his boots. He had to get someone to do it for him. That wasn't the case?
No, I don't believe so.
Garth is great because he's retired 9 times. The only one who's retired more than him is Floyd Mayweather, yeah, or any other boxer for that matter.
Truly.
You don't retire when you're a singer. I guess Barbra Streisand did it as well.
Well, we had a texter a few weeks ago tell us that he was at the Rolling Stones, their last tour in 1988.
That's the greatest.
Yeah.
It's our farewell tour in 1988. By the way, the Stones are apparently they're getting set to announce another huge tour in 2023. Yeah. Unbelievable. All right, we got plenty to do. Best way to get us is on the text line again, 641-1010.
You never know what's going to happen.
If we played them 10 times, they might win 9, but not this game.
And that's the beauty of sports.
Not tonight.
1010XL.
Screw them.
Jacksonville Sports Radio. Here's your 1010XL First Coast Community Calendar.
If you'd like to work for the Jumbo Shrimp, here's your chance. Attend their job fair Wednesday, February 1st at 121 Financial Ballpark. Learn more at jackshrimp.com.
The Tom Coughlin J Fund helps families battling childhood cancer, and there are ways you can help. Go to tcjfund.org.
Dreams Come True is the only local wish-granting organization giving dreams and special times to local children battling life-threatening illnesses. Find out how you can help at dreamscometrue.org.
If you know someone with cancer and no insurance, call the U.S. Uninsured Helpline at 800-234-1317.
Builders Care is looking for volunteers, and there are so many ways you can help. Find out how at builderscare.org.
If you're involved in a community event and you'd like us to help spread the word, find out how at 1010XL.com.
Think mortgage rates are still super high? Think again. Rates have plummeted to 5-month lows. Hey, Prosser here. Call my friends at Loan Pronto now to see how low rates are. It may be time to do that refinancing you've been putting off, or time to get back to house hunting. If you're like a lot of people, you have way too much credit card debt right now, and you're getting fleeced with 20+% interest charges every month. Or maybe your current home rate is over 6%. Listen, you can get a quick, easy refi at Loan Pronto, wipe out all those cards, close in about 14 days, and cut your overall expenses by $500 a month or more. Right now, Loan Pronto is doing refis with APRs in the 4s. Call now to take advantage of this big rate drop. Get those credit cards to zero, start that home improvement project, or get out of that 7% loan you were forced into last year. Call Loan Pronto, 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Ever have a membership that pays for itself in about 2 visits? I'm Daniel Heilman from Foursquare Golf Tavern, and our membership drive special is going on right now. Our memberships include free non-peak hour play, half-off weekend rentals, and weekly food and beverage perks. We're also going to host golf tournaments for our members throughout the year. Starting at $99, it can pay for itself in 2 visits. Check out the membership tab at foursquaregolf.com. We'll see you at Foursquare Golf Tavern, foursquaregolf.com.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here, and now that the kids are back out of the house and the decorations have been put away, I can see it's definitely time to get my carpets, my sofas clean. That's where Zero Res comes in. Zero Res. They'll clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, area rugs, even tile and grout. Google Zero Res and see what your neighbors are saying about Zero Res with more than 5,000 5-star customer reviews. Right now, get 20% off carpet cleaning and 20% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 31st, 1999, the Broncos beat the Falcons 34-19. MVP John Elway passing for 336 yards and a touchdown.
This is Hayes Carlion for Kingfish Pest Control, a local family-owned business that specializes in pest, termites, mosquito, and rodent prevention. I tell you what, when I got my new home, I had to put on my reporter's hat, find out who really is the best, and it turns out there's no competition. Kingfish provides exceptional service and treats me like a valued customer, not just an account. That's why I wholeheartedly recommend Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Mike Duraco here for Clearwater Irrigation and Drainage. Let me tell you, I had a bad standing water issue on my front sidewalk, and John Haney and his crew came in and completely solved it. Their service division fixed my sprinkler system, too. We all know these guys' singing is terrible, but their service is excellent.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. All right, Mike.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine because people have joint pain and are getting real lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Leon Searcy here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting treatments. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged tissues. If you're ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover the remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available to folks like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. Don't put these off any longer. Spring is coming, and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now, 904-274-5522. Get a free consultation with local medical professionals. QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522, with locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Me and a soda, and last night, space without room, and last night, bacon and ice cream. That's what last night without you.
All right, there you go, little Lou Reed. You ask, JJ's going to deliver. No doubt about it. I need to go back and clean a few things up. I said I went to Twitter. I never told you what I put on Twitter. It was big. It was in celebration of Doug Peterson on his birthday. I have to get there. To 1370 says, Ballou, I thought it was Frank Reich who was the Carolina quarterback you were talking about. Well, both were there, okay? What happened is Peterson was selected in the 22nd round of the expansion draft by Carolina. Remember, that was a two-team draft. It was Carolina and Jacksonville. And that was on February 15th, 1995. He was released on May 24th. He returned to the World League and played for the Rain Fire. Now, Frank Reich was the first ever quarterback in Carolina history to throw a touchdown in their first game. He threw it to the former Buffalo Bill, Pete Metzelaars. So there you go. Both have and did have careers in Carolina, although the career for Doug Peterson in Carolina was very similar to the career that Josh Gaddis had here in Jacksonville, who, of course, was fired this week as the offensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes. Let me see real quick here with Reich.
Who caught the first touchdown for the Jags, if you remember?
He played here for 1 year. Played in Carolina for 1 year. Then he moved off to the Jets. And then in 97, 98, it was Detroit. First touchdown here, I thought it was James Stewart on the ground. That's a good question. I don't know.
What was the first official game?
I remember they got absolutely blown out in Detroit. Hell, I don't know. I don't remember. I honestly do not. I got that in the media guide. I got to look it up very easily. First time ever.
So their first game, they took an L.
Yeah.
To the Houston Oilers, 3-10.
10-3.
So they didn't have a touchdown in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Next game against the Cincinnati Bengals, they lost 17-24.
Didn't say who got the first touchdown?
I'm looking. Wikipedia sucks, so I had to go to a different website. All right. Randy Jordan. 71-yard pass from Steve Berline to make it 7-3 Jags.
So Randy Jordan. Now, is that the first ever touchdown or the first pass reception?
Both.
For a touchdown. Okay. I did not know that. That's a great bar bit. No doubt about it. I tweeted this out today as I was talking about Doug Peterson, and this is all you need to know if you're a numbers guy. And again, I get really perplexed with today's math. Okay, and we're always adding new math, and the analytics are taking over, and we're finding new ways to rank or break down what a team does offensively, defensively, and in special teams. I've said this forever, and I'm going to stay with it. I've never understood why total offense and total defense is the number one, I guess, criteria to rank the offense and the defense. For me, it's always been about scoring offense, and it's always been about scoring defense. But those are their rules, okay? I look at it a little bit differently. But here's what I put on Twitter. The Jags were minus 204 points last year in point differential. They scored a franchise-low 14.9 points. Obviously, I'm talking about the 2021 season. On offense, and allowed 26.9 on defense. That's an average of 12 points a game. Again, 12 times 17, that's minus 204. They allowed 204 more points than they scored during the 2021 season. This year, okay? This year, in 2022, they shaved 6.3 points off their defense to go to 20.6 a game and increased the offense to 23.8 points. That's 8.9 points better from a season ago. So overall, they went from minus 12 a game in point differential in 2021 to plus 3.2 a game in 2022. That's a difference of 15.2 points a game. A game. 15.2. Yeah, I mean, let that sink in. The late John Clayton, I'll never forget, and he's the one that really turned me on to this. Okay, I was sitting with John Clayton at a combine, who knows when. I'm guessing 2015, 2016. I'm guessing it was that because there was a little bit of an improvement by the Jaguars, and I honestly don't even remember the year it was or what side of the ball it was. Okay? But in the year that I was with John Clayton, and I had John on a ton, but he had talked about how Jacksonville had improved by like 5 points. And again, I don't remember what side of the ball he was talking about because I honestly just don't remember the year that we were having this discussion in February at the Combine in Indianapolis. And he said, well, let's just say he said defense. He said, you took 5 points off the defense. Can you now this year improve 5 points more on offense? And if you are taking 5 off your D and adding 5 in your offense, and you do that over the years, in this league, so many games come down to last team with the ball, last possession, field goal is the difference. 5 points going either way can make such a huge difference between wins or losses. So I remember when Clayton was going through that, and he also added how hard it was to actually increase by 5 offensively or decrease by 5 defensively. So ever since that conversation, I've really become a huge stickler with this. Certainly here, I've done it with my school as well at Florida State and others. It's something that I always look at. There's a lot of different numbers that I pay attention to, but again, not to be redundant, to me the most important statistic of all is what you score and what you allow, right? What you score and what you allow your opponent to score. 15.2 points in 1 year. Now, I don't even know how you would how you could figure this out. I'm sure there are ways, and I go to quite a few different NFL statistical platforms. Some are better than other, depending on what type of numbers you're looking for, if that makes any sense. Like I was spending a lot of time last week on missed tackles. The Jaguars ended up either 8th or 9th in the NFL in missed tackles. And, you look at Cincinnati, they were 2nd. Yet that one play where 4 guys, missed, who was it? Was it Pacheco? Yeah. 4 guys missed it on that particular play. So anyway, on Doug Peterson's birthday, I just wanted to throw that out there again for you. I mean,
a lot of that is red zone scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about the difference between a field goal and a touchdown in the red zone makes all the difference in a lot of these games with the Jags. And I feel like I have no stats to back this up, but I feel like second half of the season, they were putting it in the end zone, where in the first half, I felt like they settled for a lot of field goals.
Jaguars' red zone scoring, they were 17th in the NFL, 55.38%. But I remember a year ago, they were exactly 51%. I mean, so you improve there by 4 point, it's about 4.4 points, percentage points. Yeah, I mean, certainly not perfect, but better. Okay, they're on the come there with that. Jacksonville
Where are league leaders-ish, percentage-wise?
Well, Kansas City was number 1 at 70.
Oh, wow.
I remember talking about that before the game. And what happened? And what happened in game? Kansas City was 3 for 3 in red zone. They got 21 points out of it. Kansas City was number 1 at 70%. Jacksonville was number 17 at 55.38%. So, even moving up 4.4% from a year ago is a sizable increase. And that was kind of the increase that Clayton, now this is a different category, but that's what Clayton was telling me about when we were talking about this years ago. These are numbers that are often overlooked. And I would absolutely expect that particular number to absolutely increase now that, for the most part, you're going to have the same guys back and the same staff back. This is where you start to get better. Jacksonville was not good on 3rd and 1. Jacksonville this year on 3rd and 1 was 20 of 32. Okay, 62.5% on 3rd and 1. They were 24th in the NFL. Just think about how many times 3rd and short, then you ended up going for it on 4th and short, and you made some, you didn't make some. That's another component that absolutely this football team is going to want to improve upon.
I also didn't think they were very good on 4th down.
Yeah.
They're middle of the road. Or at 12, actually. They finished 53%. But, you look at some of the ones in the top. Obviously, they didn't go for it as much, but, they're in the 70s.
They were so bad last year at 14.9. That is a franchise.
Oh my God.
That is a franchise. 14.9 as far as scoring per game.
Oh, okay.
14.9 points a game.
Still terrible.
That is the worst in franchise history. So again, they made the improvement by nearly 9 points. They went from 14-9 to 23-8. Yet, why do I believe next year that number, the goal should be in the 26-27 area, and there's certain things that they can improve on. Like we just looked at red zone scoring. This team led the league in drops with 41. We gave you 3rd and 1 needs improvement. What about 3rd down efficiency? They improved to 41.9% this year, 11th in the NFL. Marked improvement. A year ago, they were 35.9. So again, 35.9 to 41.9. That's 6 points. It may not seem 6 percentage points. It may not seem like that's that big of a deal. Trust me, it is. It's a huge difference. 3rd down efficiency. 41.9%. Can they get that up to 45, 46%?
And then you're looking at like 11, 12 win team.
You really are. That's the beautiful thing about this football team. They only got blown out in one game. They were absolutely annihilated in Detroit. Opening day, you blew a 22-14 fourth quarter lead to Washington. You shut out the Colts. You blow out L.A. in L.A. Philadelphia, you blow a 14-0 lead. The Texans, you throw an interception in the end zone. Houston, at Indianapolis a week later, you have a 27-26 lead, and you give up 8 unanswered to Indy at Indy. The Giants, you have a 17-13 fourth quarter lead. You lose 23-17. Denver and London, we all know about that. The turnover again in the end zone for Trevor Lawrence. And they had a 17-14 lead. They end up losing 21-17. And then you look at all the comebacks that they had. Las Vegas and Baltimore and Tennessee and Dallas and certainly, Tennessee with the pick very late in the year. And then obviously what happened here against Los Angeles. The point I'm making, man, you fix little things. And instead of being 9-8, man, you're looking at a 12, 13, 14 win type of season. Now, everything's got to come together. But that's the good thing about looking ahead. is there's so many what ifs. We can't what if it in 2021 and in 2020. You can't. This team, you can. They're getting closer all the time. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. It's great to have you with us. Rick Ballou along with JJ tonight till 10. Rest of the week, we'll be with you from 6 until 8 o'clock.
This is the place for Jaguars football.
This year obviously was huge for this organization, for our city. You know, the fans obviously brought it.
1010XL, home of Jaguars fans.
Thank you, Jacksonville people. Man, we appreciate you guys.
Exit is now United Real Estate Gallery. Same leadership, new name. Expect the same great services for buyers and sellers. How about this? 100% compensation plans available for real estate agents. You deserve more? Find your freedom with United. Exit is now United Real Estate Gallery. Pretty incredible. Join UnitedGallery.com to learn more about a career in real estate.
This is Coach Ellen Darley of Darley's Plumbing with a quick tip about the rules of hockey. Let me explain what icing is. And I don't mean the yummy kind you put on a cake. In hockey, icing occurs when one team just shoots the puck all the way down to the other side of the rink untouched. This is usually a delay tactic and slows the game, resulting in a penalty. If you're being penalized by bothersome plumbing issues, call us at Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts. We're online at darleysplumbing.com. License number CFC 056702.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, and maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
It's the New Year bonus sale going on now at Renewal by Anderson. For a limited time, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off, plus save $25 off every window. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Offer expires January 31st. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com. Call now. License number CGC 1527613.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom! You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Wholesale prices, premium service.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. This February, give your car the love it needs with Tire Outlet's $70 car care package. From an oil change and a brake inspection to a tire rotation and alignment check, Tire Outlet will give your ride the love it needs. Visit TireOutlet.com to schedule your appointment today. Save now by shopping today at TireOutlet.com.
Wholesale prices, premium service. Tire Outlet.
Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine because people have joint pain and are getting real lasting relief without drugs or surgery. Leon Searcy here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting treatments. They use highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to restore and repair damaged tissues. If you have ongoing joint pain from arthritis or injury, you need to call QC Kinetics. Don't assume that steroids and surgery are your only option. Times have changed, and regenerative medicine can get you moving again with no downtime. Stop taking the pain meds and discover the remarkable alternative that pro athletes have been using for years. Thanks to QC Kinetics, this amazing treatment option is now available to folks like you and me who are sick and tired of joint pain. Don't put these off any longer. Spring is coming and you want to enjoy all life has to offer. Call QC Kinetics now, 904-274-5522. Get a free consultation with local medical professionals. QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522, with locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
When you put me on the Wolverine of doing and there, it was still September when your daddy was quite surprised to find you with the working girls in your county jail. I was smoking with the boys upstairs when I heard about the whole affair. I said, "Whoa, no, William and Mary won't do."
Trying to think in the history of rock and roll, is there a band who likes to talk about libations and spirits more than the great Steely Dan? I don't know. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? But with Steely Dan, it's a lot of booze talk and just smoking doobies, not the hardcore drugs that so many rockers.
Stay safe like Steely Dan, kids.
Yeah.
Stick to the alcohol.
Man, I'm almost done with that Rod Stewart book. What a legend that man was.
Really?
Oh. The
Off stage.
The amount of women, the models that he had. Oh, my gosh, man. And he just didn't. He tried his best. Back doors and underground. But he was always getting caught. And
that happens to the best.
Man, what a legend. I really enjoyed that. I kind of wish Faces stuck around a little bit more. But
I remember being in the same bar one time with my girlfriend and the girl I was cheating on her with.
Oh, really?
Yes. And this is why you have good wingmen. Because my friends were there. They noticed the situation. They distracted the young lady that my mistress, I guess you could say, while me and my girl quickly left after I told her some fake reason why we had to leave.
I don't think you can call it a mistress if you're not married.
Yeah, it was just some.
I think you call it. I think the correct term is a side piece.
Yeah, side chick.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you there, man.
Oh, it was it's a funny story. No longer with her, obviously, and I do not cheat on my girl that I'm with now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
right?
Never will.
I believe you. I believe you. Let's get back to this. Did you look at Miami's schedule?
I did.
Well, let's take a look at it. And we did Florida State's schedule late last night. We'll take another peek at that. But let's look at the Canes' schedule. I looked at it a little bit earlier today. I had me somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from a 6-6 to an 8-4. What did you have?
I was thinking 8-ish. I think they lose once again. I know everyone's like, oh, you can't lose to this Texas A&M team after last season. Watch. Miami's going to lose to Texas A&M. That's week 2.
We'll see.
I think they're going to lose to Clemson at home.
Well, you got Miami of Ohio, then A&M.
Okay, so yeah, if we want to go in order. First of all, if you lose week 1 to Miami of Ohio, I can just see the jokes they're writing themselves. Real Miami, the fake Miami. There's going to be so many Miami memes. You cannot lose this game, okay? So I take that as a win. Week 2, at home against A&M. I'm sure it'll be a Saturday night primetime game. I think they lose.
It will not be Ed Reed and Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, Bethune will be playing Miami. That'll be a Thursday night without Ed
It will
Reed.
not be Manny Diaz at Temple.
No, but you know who it will be? Isn't Temple's new coach Willie?
Willie Taggart?
Hold on.
Wait a minute. There's no way I could have missed. There's no way I could have missed Willie Taggart. I was kind of hoping you guys were going to bring him on as a new offensive coordinator.
That was rumored.
Mm-hmm.
Willie's a free agent right now. Okay.
Yep. Well,
I think
free agent. He's getting paid from every zip code in this state.
So I think that's a win. So that puts him at 3-1. Georgia Tech at home. That's a win. Here we go. North Carolina on the road. We always lose that game. I think it's going to be a loss, and I think the next week at home against Clemson will also be a loss. Virginia after that, NC State after that. I actually think that's 2 wins, even though it did take 4 overtimes to beat Virginia last year.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have Florida State on the road Definitely a loss. I mean, if we're assuming that, Florida State's quarterback stays healthy, it is late in the season. It's the third to last game. But if things go according to plan, Miami will lose that game. And then you end the season at home Louisville, on the road Boston College. So if you will win both those, you get to 8-4, a very respectable season in my opinion, after just a diabolical year one for Mario.
Yeah, you got some tough games with A&M early, and then at North Carolina is difficult. Clemson is hard. NC State, Florida State on the road are going to be difficult. Boy, at BC there on a Friday, November 24th, it's going to be bitterly cold.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 Friday games and a Thursday game. Welcome to the ACC.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Again, let's look at the Noles. They have all Saturday games this year. They had a couple of games that were, I think they had a Thursday night, and certainly the Gator game was a Saturday matchup. As a matter of fact, the LSU game is on a Sunday. Okay, that is on Sunday, September 3rd. That'll be in Orlando.
Same as it was this year.
To kick off the season for Florida State. Last year in the, in the Superdome in New Orleans. This year it'll be in Orlando. See, this is where Jacksonville's got to, once they fix downtown, they got to start getting these games. The stadium in Orlando is nothing to brag about. Certainly the surrounding area in Orlando it's
a dump.
Well, it reminds me of the USC Coliseum, or it reminds me of the old Miami Orange Bowl. I mean, it's like terrifying neighborhoods. Yeah. So anyway, Florida State, LSU on opening day. Then it's Southern Miss. Then they go on the road for 2. I like getting BC early. It won't be as cold on September 16th. Then again, it is Boston. It can get cold, but I would certainly rather play there then as opposed to what we just talked about with Miami, who goes there, 2 months later on November 24th. At Clemson, early, real early this year, September 23rd.
Earliest since 2014.
Wow. Va-Tech rolls in on October 7th, and we talked about this when the schedule came out last night. I saw quite a few viral stuff on this today. That was Willie Taggart's first game.
I do have an update on Willie Taggart, by the way.
What do you have?
He is part of the coaching staff at Colorado.
Deion brought him
Yes, he did.
Deion brought in Mike Zimmer to help run that defense.
Which a genius move.
Yeah, let me get to Deion here in a second. He did something the other day that I want to talk about that I thought was fascinating. The Va-Tech game in God's country, Willie Taggart's first game, is truly one of the most embarrassing moments as a Florida State graduate. I mean, it was. That was one of those deals.
They were swag surfing.
It was like a 30-0 loss to Wake or South Florida, whatever it was, 30-31. I mean, I was embarrassed. I wore more hoodies that week, and it was 100 degrees outside. I just needed to hide myself.
Like with those glasses with the fake nose and mustache
I mean, do you remember the surfing they were doing?
Swag
and all that?
surfing.
Oh, it's like, you've got to be kidding
all
me.
Offseason, all you heard about was how Willie Taggart's got all these kids on board. They love them. I mean, they're so ready to change things around in Florida or in Tallahassee, and they lay a huge
I was having
egg.
so much fun tonight. This show was just so great, and everything was coming together. I honestly think it was going to be one of the greatest shows I've ever done in 30 years in 1 month. And then I thought about the Willie Taggart surf swag. I mean, I almost gave up my allegiance. That was so embarrassing. These guys are rocking back and forth. The sidelines rocking back and forth. The stadium's rocking back. And Va-Tech goes like 75 yards on 6 plays and puts it in.
Opening drive.
And then Florida State responds with a Nooney touchdown, Nooney Murray. Yet, here's a shocker. The officials get it wrong, and Willie doesn't review it, and they can't punch it in. Yeah, anyway.
National TV as well. 24-3.
Oh, my buddies were hammering me. Not so much here, but back my Boston buddies were just slicing me. But Boston buddies only come around when they know you're down. Okay,
I got friends like that.
They're great that way. Yeah, I didn't hear much about him this year when Florida State kept winning these games. Florida State loses these games. I'm hearing from guys I haven't heard from, until well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I talk with them routinely, but I think you know what I'm getting at. All right, Syracuse the week after. Here's what's interesting. Florida State has 3 straight home games. So I think that's good news for the team. It's not great news for fans. It's not spread out. And if you look at the competition, it depends on how you look at it. Vatech, Syracuse, Duke.
Ugh.
In my eyes, that's win, win, win. Are folks more tailored to go to games that are more competitive, or are there people that tend to go to games that they feel like there's a really good chance that they are going to win? And again, I don't want to dismiss all of this and say Florida State is going to show up and win. They've had one winning season now in quite a few years. I remember getting into a healthy argument with David Lamb about this probably 10, 15 years ago. He's like, you want to drive all the way over to Tallahassee and see Florida State win by 50 points? I'm like, hell yeah, I do.
Yes.
What, are you kidding me?
Is that a joke?
I mean, you have any idea how
Those are my favorite games to go to.
You have any idea how good the Miller Lights taste?
Yeah.
And he's like, wouldn't you rather go over there and see a real competitive game?
No.
And I'm like, nope. During those games, I like to lock myself alone in my bar, just by myself, so I can yell and scream and kick and punch and do anything I want to survive it. If I'm going to go to a game, yeah, I'd rather win by 50 points.
Yeah, some of my favorite games to go to, like I'm thinking of one Florida A&M versus Miami game to open the season on like a Thursday night I went to in a half-empty stadium, and you're just destroying them by 50 points and you're smoking in the crowd. Like, it's just fun. Like, there's nothing better than that. You're enjoying the FAMU band at halftime. Love those games.
It's the greatest. It really is. And listen, the last thing I'm going to do is make excuses, but I'm complaining. Or I'm not complaining. People complain about going from here to there. It's like 2 hours. It's like 2.5 hours. And it's a total, I mean, it's like.
There's never like traffic.
It's like The Walking Dead. Okay, there's nothing from here to God's country. But you're talking about a 2.5 hour trip. Think about how hard it is for people down the state, like my brother and his cronies in Tampa. Okay? And again, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but how many of these people are going to drive on October 7th for Vatech, then drive home, turn around and drive back on October 14th for Syracuse, drive home, turn around and drive back on October 21st against Duke? Okay? My guess is that a lot of people here will do it. But are they going to do it in the mid part of the state? Are they going to do it in the southern part of the state? Are they going to come from the panhandle, way out Pensacola area? We're going to see. It's been a long time since we've talked about this because they haven't played well. I still think you win, you draw. But 3 in a row at home is good for the team. I don't know if it's good for – it's not good for the fan base. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right, then you have Wake on the road, Pitt on the road. That one could really be interesting. And again, they can't beat Wake. Wake owns them right now. So those are 2 formidable games. Miami at home on the 11th. North Alabama at home on the 18th. And they go to Florida to wrap up the season on November 25th.
Which is not the day after Thanksgiving. That's only for games in Tallahassee.
Yeah, I think it's the first time they did it on a Friday.
It'll be like that next year again.
You know that?
Yeah, wasn't that part of the deal? Every other year it's going to be on that Friday.
I do not believe that's the case.
Okay.
We'll have to look at that. I thought it was a 1-year scenario on that Friday.
I hated it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it either. But so there you go. Schedule's in. There's some noticeable absent teams this year, like, North Carolina State. And, as you are aware of, the divisions have left. It's no longer going to be the Atlantic Coast Conference Atlantic and the Atlantic Coast Conference Coastal.
Florida State and Clemson could play again.
Yeah. I did notice that, the toughest team in the ACC is Clemson. Florida State ranked higher this year, but Clemson has been the beast for the last decade. Or, going back to, 2013 when Florida State won a national title. I do find it interesting that both Florida State and Miami have Clemson this year.
Which is rare. Miami hasn't played Clemson at home since Al Golden's last game, where he lost by 50 points at home.
Is that so?
Yeah. I was at that game. I left at halftime. I haven't seen anything about this game going back to a Friday after Thanksgiving, so you're correct about that.
Mm-hmm. All right. We got much more to do. If you want to comment on that, best way to do it is on the text line. That number is 641-1010.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
You hate me, don't you? No, I don't hate you.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
He hates me.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford.
Hello, Jacksonville. I'm going to get right to the heart of the matter. We have had 485 shootings in 2022. This includes murders and individuals being shot. Jacksonville is well on its way to being the murder capital of Florida, per capita population again. The answer to the problem is simple. We as a community have got to come together and encourage one another to break the code of silence. Jacksonville cannot solve the problem, and they were not there when it happened. They desperately need our help. We have got to say enough is enough. I'm not going to take any more. Our family could be the next victim. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think.
For information about Mad Dad, go to Mad Dad's Jacksonville Chapter Facebook or MadDadsJacksonville.com.
It all begins with Speed Weeks and the 65th running of the Daytona 500, February 15th through the 19th. Answer this question for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500, February 19th. What driver won the 2022 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. What driver won the 2022 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for a chance to win.
I like getting more. You too? Then you're gonna love this. Cars, trucks, SUVs, but wait, there's more. Imports, domestics, luxury. There's still more, like over 400 pre-owned on the lot. So come find it all and a whole lot more when you shop my friends at Arlington Toyota Priam. Plus, with Arlington's 30-day exchange program, you get 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. When you want more, get more, and pay less at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com.
For a chance to win 2 tickets to the Daytona 500 with Fan Zone passes February 19th, answer this trivia question. What driver won the 2022 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
Keep those New Year's resolutions on track and get to a healthier new you. Join Bailey's Health and Fitness now until the end of January and pay 0 enrollment fees on any membership. Unlock access to Bailey's 16 area locations, 24/7 club access, the best selection of equipment and personal trainers, hundreds of group fitness classes like boxing, Zumba, spin, and so much more. Pay 0 enrollment fees on any membership plan in January until the 31st. Visit Bailey'sGym.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. For Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
Denny Thompson here for Tyson Sound and Security. Widespread adoption of home automation technology has made connectivity an affordable, expected standard in new home construction. But whether your home is new or not, you can have the same smart technology. Save energy by turning lights out remotely. How about the convenience of a home theater with one button or walking in your door with automatic lights? Use Tyson Sound and Security. Visit TysonSoundandSecurity.com. Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts.
Hey, Googans, Hicken here, and now that the kids are back out of the house and the decorations have been put away, I can see it's definitely time to get my carpets, my sofas clean. That's where Zero Res comes in. Zero Res. They'll clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, area rugs, even tile and grout. Google Zero Res and see what your neighbors are saying about Zero Res with more than 5,000 five-star customer reviews. Right now, get 20% off carpet cleaning and 20% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, tomorrow night, 6 to 8, Thursday and Friday night as well, 6 to 8. Plenty to do. No doubt about it. Senior Bowl coming up. A little bit from there. Didn't feel like there's as many top prospects at this year's Senior Bowl. The cap has been certainly discussed an awful lot as of late. For those of you who do not know, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. The cap has been announced for 2023. $224.8 million. Let me double check, but I believe that is the figure. Yes, $224.8. So that's up from $208.2 million a year ago. You look within the division, and right now Jacksonville is $22,217,000 above the cap. So they're going to have to shave that by May 15th. And also Calvin Ridley, his contract is going to be added in 15 days. We hope that is when he can, actually, I guess the technical way to say that would be he is able to apply for reinstatement on that date. I don't believe his contract will actually come into play until a month later on March 15th. At that particular time, you have to have your roster set under the $224.8 million cap. Also within the division, right now, the Houston Texans, who today announced that DeMeco Ryans will take over as their head coach. Houston has $39.289 million, $39,289,000 above the cap at this particular time. So they got about $40 million to play with. That's scary. Colts, $13 million. Just a shade over at 71,000. So a little bit to play with there with Indianapolis. And then the Tennessee Titans in worse shape right now than Jacksonville. You're talking about $26,623,000 over the cap. Again, the Titans are 30th in the NFL. The Jaguars are 28th in the NFL. This is where it gets complicated. Okay, I mean, I know a little bit about the cap. I don't know a great deal about it, but just to kind of express things in the most ordinary of ways. Okay? I gave you this example so many times a year ago. It was not a good 2021 for Rayshon Jenkins, Shaq Griffin, or Roy Robertson Harris for a lot of different reasons, primarily health. If you just wanted to wipe the slate clean and cut those three guys after 1 year, the dead cap money would have been over $40 million. Okay? If you want to cut those three guys now, the dead cap money is going to be around $10 million. So in 1 year, $30 million gets shaved off in dead cap money. Okay? Let's go to this year. And again, what becomes so evident is in year two, it's really difficult to make a move on a free agent if they did not perform well. Okay? In year three, everything changes. And I just gave you the example of those three defensive players. You know, my guess is Shaq Griffin's going to get cut. Yeah, they're going to owe some dead cap money. I think it's like $4.5 million or something like that. As a matter of fact, I can tell you right now, Shaq Griffin's cap number is $17.147 million, $17,147,000. There's a $4 million dead cap fee. So that means Jacksonville is going to be able to shave $13,147,000 to their cap figure, but they're going to have to pay or eat, $4 million worth of dead cap money, right? Last year's dead cap money was already over $30 million. I mean, they were paying like Joe Schobert $9 million. They were paying like Miles Jack $8 million. It was incredible. Right now, you have three guys on it: Chenault, Tufele, and Junior. And right now, your dead cap money is $1.4 million. That's really good, but that's going to change. And obviously, $4 million worth is going to be added here for Shaq Griffin. But look at the top four players. What do they have in common? They were all free agents this past year. Okay, Cam Robinson was re-signed. But here's my point. Much like Roy Robertson Harris, Shaq Griffin, and Rayshon Jenkins of a year ago, you can't do anything with Christian Kirk, Cam Robinson, Brandon Sheriff, Foye Oluokun, Folo Fatakasa. Even if you wanted to, you can't because of their figures. Case in point, Christian Kirk is the highest paid member of the Jaguars this year. He's got a cap number of $23 million. You can't cut him. If you did, the team would pay a cap figure of $30,500,000. Okay? That would be the dead cap. Cam Robinson. Every single show I do, I get the obligatory move Cam Robinson and so and get this guy. You can't. Okay? You're in bed with Cam Robinson for at least 2 more years because of this contract, okay? His figure this year is $22,117,000. If you were to move him, you would eat a dead money cap figure of $26 million. So you can't, okay? Brandon Sheriff, and there were some reports that he actually had surgery yesterday on his, the hernia, the abdomen issue. I wasn't able to confirm that. I didn't call the Jaguars or anything. I just didn't. I figured it was going to happen, and the sooner the better. Of course, Cam had surgery as well. That's going back about, 5-6 weeks ago. But with Brandon Sheriff, cap figure, $20 million. The dead money, $23,500,000. Big Foye, okay? Cap figure, 19.1. You look at the dead money, 22.3. So you're stuck with those players for 1 year. And when you get to 2024, just to kind of explain my way through it, I said Cam Robinson, you're stuck with him for 2 more years. That was actually incorrect. You can cut Cam Robinson next year at this time, and his dead money is only $5 million. Yet his cap figure is $22,750,000. So if he doesn't play well, you can save $17,750,000. You have to eat 5 of it. You do. But if he doesn't play well, you can also save nearly $18 million. So you see how that changes? Christian Kirk in a year. What did we say it was this year? We said it was $30,500,000 as far as the dead money that would hit if they were to let him go. And then obviously not. Next year, that drops to $10 million. Okay? Brandon Sheriff next year, it drops to $5 million. Brandon Sheriff this year is $23.5. Next year, it drops to $5. Foye, next year, it drops to $4.1. Big Folo, next year, it drops to $3.3. So, understanding the cap is complex. And I know I sound like a Trent Baalke apologist, and trust me, I'm not. But for those of you who believe or listen to anyone else who tells you that Trent Baalke does not know what he is doing and does not know how to manage the cap, dead wrong. It's year 2. That is the very expensive year. And again, it happened with those 3 defensive guys. And look how that turned. You know, a year ago at this point, I was convinced that those 3 wouldn't return. Halfway through the season, I was convinced that 2 wouldn't. Rayshon kind of got to us early, like, yeah, you better find a way to do him, get him signed up, you know, extend him, give him some bonus money. You do that with him, it's going to be the same deal. He's going to be on the cheap this year. They're going to be able to recoup money used elsewhere. It'll grow during his second year. And then I got to believe it's at least a 3-year deal, where in year 3 you can get out. So this is genius by Baalke and his people. With these 3- and 4-year contracts, every single one that you read, you are able to get out of it in year 3. Pretty fascinating stuff. Don't always look at the years and the money. Pay attention to the guaranteed money, and then take advantage of the resources that are out there and really look at the future dead money, because that is when you're going to end up deciding whether or not to keep a guy, let him go, or meet in the middle and restructure and give them a newer contract. All right, there you go. Very latest there. Just wanted to get that out because, that's where we're headed. That legal tampering period is going to be here in about 6 weeks. It's amazing. I can't believe tomorrow's February. You got to be kidding me.
Well, it feels like May outside.
Today it does.
It was hot the last couple of days.
I love it. Let's not stay so skinny, man. I'm out there sweating. But, it feels like yesterday was Christmas. And now here it is. We're heading to February 1st.
Playoff football do that to you.
It really does. It's changed. I mean, we're 85 days away from the draft. I haven't even mentioned one word yet about the NFL. I almost feel like a kid. Like, on Christmas Day, maybe you save the biggest present for last. Or so, it's like, it's going to be such a treat to talk about the draft, and we haven't even done it yet because we haven't needed to, because things have been so relevant around here. But that's coming, man. That draft talk will be here before you know it, and obviously a month before that, you've got free agency. The only disappointment for Jaguar fans this year, and you got to deal with it. I just gave you the reason why, where you're tight with money. I'll come back and actually spend a minute on this, but Jacksonville's not going to be big players. I can't see how they are. There was a list today. I think I saw it on ESPN's Top 50, a list of free agents. Matter of fact, let me hold that for the other side. I have a couple of comments on that. Again, if you want to jump into the conversation, best way to do so is on our text line. That number is 641-1010, and it is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures.
Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL.
The Gators take on second-ranked Tennessee tomorrow at 6:30 on 1010 AM.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org.
Apply by May 18th.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
January is always about new year, new me. But this year, instead of wasting money on workout equipment that will eventually be holding up clothes more than shedding fat, or a gym membership card that gets pulled out of your wallet way less than your driver's license, why not update that crusty kitchen sink faucet? Or maybe even splurge on a new throne for the bathroom. At Duck Duck Rooter, we are here to transform hapless New Year's resolutions into tangible plumbing upgrades to start the year off right. Contact them today, duckduckrooter.com.
Jacksonville is a great place to live. And if you love where you live, you should invest in it. That's why more and more people bank with 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. We invest every penny back into North Florida, backing the very best small businesses, nonprofits, and of course the family home. Why put your money with some big out-of-state bank when you can invest in where you love to live? 1-to-1 Financial. We're your hometown credit union. Sign up today at 1to1fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Gets hot for playmakers and newsmakers on the Roof It Right Hot Seat. Roof It Right Hot Seat on 1010XL. Listen to Mike and Tony every day for the latest scoops from Jacksonville and beyond. Roof It Right so you can sleep at night.
Years ago, when Harold and Harold was growing, we had a decision to make whether we were going to grow into the state or even beyond. And we decided that we were going to stay here in this community in Northeast Florida. That it's staying here and not looking at where's the next place that we can go or how can we get bigger, because bigger is not necessarily better. This is our home. This is where our families are. This is where our friends are. And this is where we're going to stay. Offices, Jacksonville.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Coming through in the clutch. David Garrard for Clearwater Seamless Gutters. You all know Clearwater installed my sprinklers, but recently John Haney's Clearwater Gutter Division installed beautiful 6-inch seamless gutters for my home in Jacks Beach, and they work great.
Dave, that's awesome to hear. Now jump in. We're fixing to sing.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage, too.
Beloved former basketball coach and educator Satch Sullinger knows you got to keep moving to stay healthy. But that's not so easy when your aching joints won't cooperate.
We still want to move and we still want to get around and we still want to be active, but we start to deteriorate the moment we quit moving.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments help restore movement in stiff, aching knees, hips, shoulders, and back, using only your natural healing properties to help restore damaged joints. That's a huge positive for Satch.
It's working, and what I really like about it is there's nothing foreign put in my body. Everything that was put in my body has been taken from my body. I love it. I love it. Like I said, I want to live until the day I die.
Get rid of the pain and start moving again. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
I'm Sophia Monahan. One day, my sister and I will take over for my dad at Monahan Jewelers. Monahan's is your local family jeweler, and we're having our Valentine's sale now.
That's right, Sophia. Our Valentine's sale is up to 30% off on all GIA-certified diamonds and up to 40% off store-wide with interest-free financing on all purchases. Diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our entire inventory. Take it away, Sophie.
Monahan Jewelers at Alente Beach.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, closing thoughts. Hacker Nation will join you at the top of the hour. We'll be with you tomorrow night, Thursday night, Friday night from 6 until 8. And we're going to be talking about this so much, but isn't it fun now to, to be more than relevant? So, instead of just slashing guys and saying that they suck, I mean, this all of a sudden becomes like a very difficult decision that the organization is going to have to make player after player. If you just gutted this thing, okay, if you were just thinking, all right, we got all we could out of these players and it's time to go younger and, maybe you can recoup all this cash, maybe you can at least get one premier free agent. Anyway, here is the money that you would recoup if you say goodbye to these players. This is the top money that would be available. Obviously, Shaq Griffin is gone. $13,147,000. Done. Okay, after that, it's Rayshon Jenkins, $6,500,000. Roy Robertson Harris is actually ahead of Rayshon. That's $7,800,000. That's 20, that's 26. You get them to the 27, 28 million range with those three players. Jamal Agnew. He's got a cap figure of $5,881,000. If you cut him, you save $4,714,000. You would have a dead money that you would have to eat of 1.16. But where are you with Jamal Agnew? Do you let him play that out for that wage? Man, that's a cap figure of nearly $5.9 million for a role player. A guy that I'm a huge fan of. Okay? You look at what he did in the return game before that fumble, and I know you can make the case that with a game on the line, why you go into someone like Jamal Agnew, yet if he scored that touchdown, no one would have said a word, so, it's whatever. But I think that has to be put into consideration if they need that money to redo Taylor, or they need that money to redo Ingram, or redo an Arden Key, or something like that. So those are the four, and it's the one enormous one with Griffin, two really big ones with Harris and Jenkins, and then you get to the Agnew one. Now, again, they could maybe restructure that, make this year next to nothing, and add 2 years. Kayvon Chason. Man, is this right? Nothing at all for releasing him? You'd have a dead cap figure here of $4,246,000. Let me see if that changes post June 1st. Kayvon Chason, it remains the same. This doesn't make any sense. His cap figure is the same as the dead cap money. Just make sure I got this 2023. Yeah, so I heard a lot of talk that he's gone, he's done. Financially right now, it really doesn't make any sense to do anything as far as the loss there with Kayvon Chason. Zero money you would recoup. Man, what a bad contract that. And that was a rookie contract. Nothing else you could do with it. Tyler Shatley, $2,950,000. Possibly. He's a 10-year vet now, right? Possibly. I mean, he's got a cap figure of $3.45 million. Ben Barch returns, and there's a lot of talk that maybe even in the first round, Jacksonville could go get a left guard. So do you play a guy who gave you 14 starts, has been here forever, he's the longest tenured Jaguar, but he's got a cap figure of $3.5 million. Do you want to pay a backup offensive lineman $3.5 million? Or maybe they're saying right now, you know what? Say whatever you want about Tyler Shatley. As far as I'm concerned, he's going to remain the starting left guard. If he stays as a starting left guard at $3.5 million, that's a bargain. But I'm kind of looking at it that he's not. That's something else to consider. Devon Hamilton, final year of his rookie deal, $2.7 million. There's another guy that, do you extend him in a year with all of those young guys coming up? Or second-year players now will be at the end of their third year. Obviously, we've talked about redoing Trevor. Devon Hamilton has played as a guy that certainly you would think is going to stick around a little bit. Same exact figure for Ben Barch. And that's basically it. Quarterman could go. You could save just over $1 million for Quarterman. Okay, he's got a cap figure of $1,133,000. You'd only have to pay $123,000, and you could bring back $1 million. So he's a special teamer. Look at the play he made, that fumble on Derrick Henry. I just don't know. Chris Claybrooks is another guy. Same exact situation. If you cut Chris Claybrooks, your dead money would be $25,000. Okay? And you would bring back just over $1 million.
How do they even come up with it when it's that small?
I don't know. I'm trusting.
It'll be $25 if you cut Chris Clay. Who has to go and collect that?
Right. I'm trusting these numbers. So there you have it. I mean, they could say goodbye to some other guys and you could say goodbye to Caleb Johnson and bring back $940,000. But you got to turn around and get guys, and they're not all on the cheap. So anyway, that's just a brief way of looking at this, and we're going to spend a great deal of time on it as we do move forward. But what is tricky is that they know how to figure it out. They know how to restructure, and as Trent Baalke said, cash is more important than the cap. And Shad Khan, ladies and gentlemen, he's got cash and plenty of it. For JJ, I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Brunell wants to run at the 20 and leaps a defender. Incredible leap over Mike Magruder, who's left holding his jockey shorts.
Jaguars pride forever. 1010XL.
Fact, we all want to feel better, especially when our joints hurt. Are you stuck on the sidelines but want to get back in the game of life? My friend Dr. Alan Nathans has a no-needle regenerative clinic for people with degenerated arthritic joints, like bone-on-bone knees, shoulders,